you want to save money on your trading card purchases, we have a promo link over at 50cards.shop. Enter the promo code ATNIGHT to get 5% off your order. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Vita Premium Transitions, the series where me and a guest, I'm Atlas. This is Aiden from VGPunk.
Hello.
So we take a deck, show it to you in V Premium, and then show you how to turn it into a premium deck with relatively few steps to show you that premium's pretty dope, actually.
Yes, it is. People keep arguing with me at my local about it. I keep on telling them play premium.
Yeah, me too. Slowly, I'm getting people onto my side. Like it's taken about 2 months, but I've gotten about 4 people who are just like, yes, it's the better one. So
that's around my same rate too.
No.
They keep on hearing about like Ride Down and Steam Maiden and all that stuff, and it's like they're looking at it from the outside, so they have a really hard time just thinking of a way to get over it. But the rest of us that's been playing premium for a while, we like, yes, they're powerful, but they're not completely unbeatable, you know?
Right. There's that, and then also like it's not too expensive to build in general. Like it's a lot cheaper than Overdress these days.
Mm-hmm.
So why don't we get into it? Today we're doing Megacolony, which you love you some Megacolony. You got top 4 with some Megacolony.
Yes, I did. I would also give some credit to Mile and Richard too, because some game they did carry me. Some game they did.
Top 4 is a top 4, man. Let's look at the list here. So starting off, we have the V Premium list for Megacolony. Just as always, the deck logs for these will be in the description if you want to go look at them in greater detail for yourself. So fire away, dude.
Alright, so for V, Megacolony is not like the best deck in V, but they can hold their own. So for this one, I focus more on the V version of Ghidorah. She's basically Counterblast 1 is the axe skill. Counterblast 1 once per turn, put 2 Cradle on the opponent rear guard. So Cradle is basically a token that you put on the opponent's rear guard, and if that rear guard go to the drop zone, you get to search your deck for whatever grade that rear guard is and add to your hand whatever grade card. So you can search out orders with if you manage to get rid of the rear guard with the Cradle marker too.
Mm-hmm.
So
the idea is to have them call over them and so for new stuff, and you get your search off of that, right?
That is the idea, but it's very dependent on them. Like they will always choose like the option that's like the best for them, of course. So we want to put them in a position where it choose the best for us. To help with that, the Cradle marker, it like erase the effect of the rear guard too, so they won't be able to activate any ability. And then her second effect is basically retiring on attack, retire a rear guard, and you get to call a grade 3 from the deck. And that's how we multi-attack with this deck.
Mm-hmm.
And there's only 2 options for retiring rear guard for calling grade 3, and it's either the Dark Phase or the Hell Demise, but most of the time it's gonna be the Hell Demise. His effect is on plays, he can restand one of the rear guard. When this guy first, he's a common. When this guy first came out, the idea was the first support of V Megacolony, they rest a bunch of their stuff to do different things like gain power, and then the Vanguard restand them. This guy is like a common because no one cared. The Vanguard's gonna restand them, so why do we need a common to restand them? But lo and behold, here we are, on place, restand something, mid-battle phase.
Yeah, like this was a big deal back when the book and the dragon were a thing, which is weirdly enough one of the most popular videos on this channel was the deck profile I did for that with the Dragon of Ruination, because you would call this from deck with the Ghidorah Stride, which we'll get to that later, and then it would stand something, so you have like a multi-attack thing. off of that. So Gridora is like a little mini version of it.
Yeah. There's another option that a lot of people play, and it's like, I don't remember the name exactly, but it's like a scissor beetle grade 3 thing. That basically the same thing as Hell Demise, but for a Soul Blast, and it get 10k and restand something, which is like, it's similar, but you know, Soul is pretty important in the deck, so I'd rather save the Soul for something else.
Gotcha.
And if you choose to play Megacolony, you probably know what all these cards do because people complain about almost every single one of them.
Yeah, if there's one thing that opponents of Megacolony will do, it is complain about Megacolony.
Yeah, all of them do something that interact with the opponent. Like Stamping Red, she give a Cradle to something. So beside Gridora, this one also give Cradle, and then the one next to it, Megacolony Battler S, she forced the opponent to call a card from their hand, and then they get to draw a card. That's the errata for this girl. So be careful if you use her. She forced the opponent to call a card from their hand, so it gives you something to Cradle. And if the opponent whole field is rested, you have the ability to play Grand Blue in this deck, which you get to bring her back from the drop zone, and then you get to Soul Charge.
That is pretty nice. Where if you have your like a protect marker, like if you have too many of them, or your Crush Shield or whatever it is.
Yeah, basically that. And then the newest addition to this whole roster is Sweet Cocktail. Oh, sweet cocktail.
This thing is like, this is the thing that everybody, the second you mention Megacolony and Premium, people are like, this is the thing to keep an eye out for.
If not Brilliant Blister, if not Great Fork Gridora, is this one that people was like, I have to do something about it. It's like, no, you can't. That's the point. You can't do anything about it because you're either gonna have to give me power in card or you get rid of something.
Yeah, and if you happen to write it, you get a free Cradle marker when writing it.
Yeah,
thing's good.
I try not to rely too much on the when wrote upon Cradle marker because it's kind of obvious. Like if I write that, the opponent be like, okay, next turn he gonna Cradle something from me, somehow get rid of my field. So I try not to rely on that, but once in a while it's nice if I know the opponent doesn't have like a disappearing field.
Yeah, like it's free, so it's not even a thing where like, oh, I tried to play into it. It was just like, I'm writing up to 3 and also Cradle.
Yeah. You know? That's basically it for the grade 2. The grade 1 is there's Brilliant Blister. There he is. The strike fear into the opponent's heart. But he's still not as good as most people think because he required the Vanguard to be rested. So maybe plan out your attack. Don't just unga bunga against a Megacolony player. That's all we ask.
Yeah, a lot of people, the thing with this is that the fear of it will make the opponent go, okay, well, I might have to swing with my rear guards first, which usually goes against what what your brain is telling you to do most of the time, because normally you attack with your Vanguard and then assign triggers accordingly. This forces you to play differently, which is what a control deck does. Yeah, like that's
the thing that make people really hate Megacolony, i.e. my entire local. The one that just got into Premium, they keep complaining about the card, but I was like, but if you really think about it, it just forces you to play a different way. And if you're smart, you can do it. Like, it's not stopping you from doing a lot. Like, I lose so much stuff from activating his effect because a Soul Blast in Megacolony is pretty important, and I have to discard a card for him. So I don't just get to do that for free. I have to actually think about it too, you know?
Yeah, I think what I see people doing is that they'll block this and then do the effect to something else.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, usually that's like the ideal case, but of course in a match you have to be like, okay, maybe I just let them hit this one, but I still block it to block a bigger thing in the corner over there. But like that's how I was before. I used to like optimize Brilliant Blister to the max, where I was like, oh, I guard this attack while also stopping another attack. Sometimes you don't have that luxury, so you don't always have to like super optimize everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah, not all decks will call their stuff out before they start attacking. Sometimes the attacking is calling stuff out. So I can see how that's a thing. High class moth, a classic.
Countercharger. That's all he is. Countercharger. But you can only do it once a turn. So people gotta be careful, because usually he's your only countercharger, and the reason why is if you play other countercharger in this deck and you use their effect first, he won't be able to countercharge. That's another restriction we have to jump through hoops for, but people don't see that because they're sitting across from us.
Well, that's not true. It's just that he's got a hard once per turn. That's it. Like, you can countercharge with something else and then have him be like, all right, I'll do the effect after. What you can't do is use this effect and then like call another one and then do the effect.
I don't know. He's my only countercharger, so I only care about him.
That's all I'm saying. Is that it's not what you're making it out to be.
Yeah. Then one of that Battler M. Yeah, he's just a big shield.
Yeah, makes sense.
And then the actual star of the show, which is like this deck is based on Cradle, is Morshiroto. She give me a +2 basically, because what she does is she pop herself to pop something with a Cradle on, and so I get to call a card off of her effect, and then the Cradle will let me add a card. What I do is usually I pop a Great One, call Brilliant Blister to the back, add the Megacolony Battler M to my hand, so big shield, and then at the end of turn, Blister bounce back to my hand. A lot of shield.
Yeah. You got crits. You got a 2-2 split on the Sentinels.
Yeah, because it's a protect deck, so I'm probably gonna have some protect gift in my hand.
Okay, yeah. So pretty cut and dry V deck. Going into premium, stuff changes a little bit.
Yeah, I do have to say, Megacolony in V don't do anything. So don't think V Megacolony will be like top tier meta. We don't do anything in there.
Okay, at least you're honest. Megacolony in premium though has like weirdly enough gotten some tops here and there. Like you're not even counting yours. Like it's shown up here and there. I think also now that the history collection thing has been revealed, I have to do this with every subsequent Vita premium. Okay, I think that the original Darkface has a huge role to play in that meta.
No.
Yeah. No.
Believe me, I have the deck ready, and I just tested the other day. It is ridiculous because I keep sitting there with a stack of soul, 2 GB2 active, and I'm just like, do anything, I dare you. Call the biggest thing.
Oh, so it's good ridiculous, not bad ridiculous. Yeah, okay.
Good ridiculous, right. Because I'm sitting there waiting for them to call whatever the combo piece of their deck to the rear guard just so I can rest it. Yeah. My opponent just sit there and be like, I don't know if I should do it. I was like, well, you gotta do it regardless because that's how your deck works. So do it. I dare you.
I think if people want to see more of that, like I know for the Royal Paladin one, we leaned more into that and had the alt mile thing going on. I assume you're going to do a deck profile of that, right?
Oh, yeah.
So just keep an eye out for your channel. And
my friend who I test the history collection with, he was the one that played alt mile, and I let him, and he went first, so he got to his GB2 first. And I was like, you better make that GB2 worth it because you know what happened next turn.
Yeah.
It's either I get first stride with the on-hit stuff, or I go into Ghidorah. Pick your poison.
I mean, even just doing the Ghidorah stride, like if you get second stride, going into Ghidorah and then having the GB2 active is very good.
Yeah.
Because then you're like, all right, you can only call from hand, and I'm going to rest whatever comes in. Good stuff. But anyway, sorry to have a massive tangent, but yeah, the deck build isn't really all that different, except for a different Brilliant Blister, an over trigger, and this thing, which we've been over this 8 million times on this show. Elementary Sanctitude. Get one of those. It works on strides for free. So
you can search that out with Cradle.
Yeah, all that too. You guys know what's up. So why don't we look at like the big difference here, which is this Brilliant Blister, and he's tiny. Great. What's his deal?
Anyway, his effect is on Guardian Circle. So when you guard with him, you get to pick an opponent Vanguard, and that Vanguard cannot stand up for the rest of the turn. So if any restand that's just that unit restand, it won't work. But if you do like riding a different card kind of restand, like Raging Form kind of restand, that's fine. But Overlord restand won't work.
Yeah, Overlord. I'm trying to think. My brain keeps going to Gluttony Nebros for Touch Kaze, but that gets around this because you stand before the guarding happens. It does work on Dogma though, because Dogma happens at the end of the battle. So things like that. It's a very niche target, but I think for a deck that can search literally whatever it wants, whenever it wants.
Hint. This is the deck I bring to premium. This exact list right here.
Really? Okay. Okay. So yeah, we
there
have.
You go.
Yeah.
But the reason why this deck specifically is so good against Overlord is that Overlord always have a grade 1 during their early turn, and I just Cradle Moshiro at this hand, and it completely shut down Overlord turn because the Overlord player is like, well, I can't do my regular restand stuff, so how am I gonna play? I was like, exactly, you don't play. I beat 2 Overlord player purely because I have him in my hand.
Do you like, for people who are suffering under that psychological aspect, is the correct play to just go for it anyway and let you get off your Brilliant Blister? Or do they just kind of sit there and awkwardly triple drive every turn, and that's it?
I'm not telling you. That's up to you to decide.
All right.
But
whatever.
Usually, I would say, yeah, just do your regular thing, because I have to work really hard to cycle that guy back to my hand. So I doubt you're gonna have to deal with him twice. The thing that people are scared of is because I play defensively going up to Ghidorah, and after Ghidorah, she handle everything for me. That's what they're scared of. They know Ghidorah is coming, so they're like, what the hell? I wouldn't say it's strangely, it's like having too many choices, but then all of the choices lead to bad outcome, you know, and they don't know which choice lead to the least bad outcome.
A catch-22 is what you're thinking of, yeah?
Yeah, that's probably it. But as you can see, the deck is basically the same. Yeah. Only Elementaria and
Brilliant Blister.
This is Brilliant Blister
and the OT. But
you know. Oh yeah, and OT.
So, yeah. So going into the G zone.
Yep, there she is, the star of the deck. Great for Ghidorah. She's the one that stunned the opponent field for the entire turn. So she basically, the easiest way is the opponent skip their stand phase. That's basically the easiest way I can explain that to people that met Ghidorah for the first time. You basically skip your stand phase. Even for my Vanguard, yes, even for your Vanguard.
Yeah, and then also they can't call except from hand, which means no G guarding. Super important.
The skipping stand phase is not what scare people. It's the no G guarding is what scare people the most. That's what I find from people that know how to play premium really well. They're like, everything else is fine. It's just the no G guarding is kind of hurting me.
They banned Ichikashima from Oracle Think Tank because it shut off the auto abilities of G guards. This is better than that. because it's just no G-darting in general, which means that decks can't use G-darts to like up their amount of cards face up in G-zone, which for some decks is super important. For other decks like Pale Moon or Grand Blue, this just shuts off the entire deck completely.
Yeah, like I have well, I'm biased because I don't see what the other people see because I'm the only I'm one of 2 Megacolony player and the other guy don't even play a lot. Yeah. Which is like, I'm biased, so I don't know where it is, but I do know she is powerful. She literally carried the whole clan on her shoulder. Like, if Gridora is banned, the Megacolony will be nowhere in the meta, which is the reason why I think they haven't banned Megacolony yet. Not because they like Megacolony. We know Bushiroad hate Megacolony. But, like, everything is circling around her.
Yeah.
And there are ways to get around her. You know?
Yeah. That same ability of, like, calling the 3 from deck is, like, the grade 3 Gridora. So, about the same thing.
It eat a soul instead of a rear guard.
Yeah.
Wait, I shouldn't say eat. That's Tachikaze thing. It eats a soul instead of retiring a rear guard. But you're gonna retire a rear guard regardless because you're gonna call over it.
So yeah, this thing is just freaking poggers. How much is it these days? Do you know?
I got my 4 and I'm good.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure. But like, if you plan to play Megacolony at all, she is like your first priorities because like all the other stride you never go into. Like, I'm sorry. So many times I sit there and I was like, okay, should I go into this? And my friends just stare at me as if they already know the answer. I was like, shit, you're right, Gridora. Again, they're like, there you go. You're wasting my time, your time.
Mm-hmm. This is, at the time of recording this video, about $40, which is real bad for base rarity. Yeah, they're both the same. They're both 40 for base rarity and hot stamp. It's really kind of unfortunate. Because this is so... It's like the crux of how the deck works in Premium, but it really works. I think because you can flip anything face up, you can probably get away with, like, what, 3 and not...
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
I congratulate people for making it to the 4th one.
Yeah.
Like, I legitimately, every single time one of my buddy or one of the guy at the Spring Fest, they made it to the 4th Gridora. I was like, congratulations. They're like, what 4th? I didn't win yet. I was like, no, you made it to the 4th Gridora.
Yeah. No, so some of the, like, this particular fighter, this particular set, and 2020 were both just have super important things in there. Like, if I was the warehouse worker from the end of Raiders of the Lost Ark, I wouldn't be looking for, you know, the Ark of the Covenant. My ass would be like tearing open boxes looking for Premium Collection 2020, being like, "Give me Crystal Luster, where are you?"
Oh yeah, yeah. Those were bonkers. That I really hope they do reprint some of these strive for people that like to learn more about other clan. But you know, I'm happy I got my 4. I know it worked out at the end.
Or just reprinting more in general. This is also pretty important, isn't it?
Yeah. So, have you ever played Magic Commander format specifically?
Not Commander, just Standard.
Okay. In Commander, there's this thing where they have partner, where you can have 2 Commander. If this was Magic, this would be Gridora's partner. Because he opened up more option for Gridora. Because one of the things that we... not scared of, but is very wary, is that the opponent somehow have a standing rear guard. Because if the opponent have a standing rear guard, it shut down like a good 50% of our main deck. And this guy get rid of standing rear guard.
Yeah.
And let you draw a card.
It's weird that this works both on Vanguard Circle and G-Zone. Very unorthodox.
Yep. This is like our Geoma Glass.
Yeah. So puts, you know, you load soul by doing it. It repays itself in terms of the counterblast if you kill something, and then if you don't, just give your Vanguard, your opponent's Vanguard minus 10k, which is essentially plus 10k to your front row.
Yep. He is the reason why I can just attack your Vanguard for 9. a lot of time. And the opponent be like, wait, it hit. I was like, yes, it hit.
Yeah, because you're at 3.
Yeah.
No.
But he does eat up a lot of counterblasts, so I wouldn't recommend spamming him. Like, knowing when to use him is pretty helpful.
Let's see. So, Megaloma, we've been over this in past episodes with the Neonectar thing. Not a lot of people going into it, not super important. You could probably skip it. This
I go into it if I ever want to just have a silly, goofy time.
Yeah. I know there's a Neonectar version of the deck where you can go into it, and then there's like a stride that works in main phase. So you, well, because it's retire 2 plant tokens and then stride it, and then she gets 10k to crit. So you go into Megaloma, activate the effect, kill 2 plant tokens, stride it, and then you're at least hitting for numbers with a crit, and then kind of a goofy time, but that's not really super important. This is a thing. He's not important. No? You're gonna go into Ghidorah. You never go into anything else. So he's just there because that's the card James gave me, and obligation. Okay.
By obligation, I have to use it.
I mean, it's kind of a watered down Ghidorah. This came out long before it did, but yeah. Does this come up ever, or
no? Placeholder. Literally, I'm taking her out to put in 2 of the on-hit guy for
his collection. Yeah.
It's like, I feel bad too because that's our GR, but we don't use her anymore.
Yeah. She was cool. I liked her. Your G guards are kind of interesting. This one has a pretty easy condition for the plus 10k.
Yeah.
And then you have this, which is kind of a sucky, but
she is the one I go into the most.
Really? Because it has to happen when your opponent's Vanguard attacks.
Yep. The opponent Vanguard attack, but all their rear guard are rested, and they won't rest the standing stuff because they need to attack with those. So by default, a good 90% of the time, I get to draw a card, counter charge, soul charge. Oh look, I soul charge. Brilliant Blister is in my hand. Lovely. Continue your turn.
Oh.
And
I feel like this is one of those cards that you have to use in conjunction with other stuff.
Yeah, for sure. But I never have to G-guard that big because they're so neuter already. When they're attacking, they're already so neuter. If I really need to guard, I have a 30k crit in my hand. Well, most of the time. I have a 30k crit in my hand, a bunch of trigger, Brilliant Blister, and Sweet Cocktail. I think my main deck is pretty defensive enough. The G-Guard is just there for like emergency button.
Gotcha.
And most of the time, I use the heal trigger to protect myself early game because the moment I ride into Ghidorah, I have control of the game. Yeah.
What's his deal?
Soul Blast 1, he gained 30k shield, and the opponent can rest their rear guard to minus 10k from the shield, which they rarely rest it, so I have a 45k shield most of the time.
Yeah, it's as somebody who's played against this a bunch, very little will your opponent go, well, these things I'm cool with resting. Like nobody's ever like calling stuff that they don't need. You know what I mean?
And like if they rest it, thanks, you're giving me something else to cradle the next turn.
Yeah.
So he's after the Ladybug girl, he's my next go-to. The Butterfly girl is just there for flip fodder for the bug girl, for the Ladybug girl.
For Relish Lady, right?
Yeah.
Relish Lady.
That's how I nicknamed them. That's how my friends know them as well.
It's the same. Like I played Magnolia in Standard, and I've called Geonosla glow nipples this entire time. So I can't say I blame you. Well, we hope this has been helpful. Like we said at the beginning of the video, deck logs for these will be in the description below if you want to take a closer look at these lists.
Scroll up to the name of that. Scroll up to the name of that.
Am I the drop? Christ. I thought you weren't gonna, because like the original one was just named Megacolony V Premium. Like, okay, you're not gonna bother with the name.
This,
Am I the drama? Are we the baddies? Yeah.
This one is Am I the Drama, and the Silverthorn deck that I bring to Springfest that got me DQ is named Am I the Problem.
Nice. Okay, good. He's got like a shtick to him. But yeah, leave a like, leave a comment, check out VGPunk's channel. That'll also be in the description if you want to see more content from his end. And yeah, thanks everybody for watching, and we'll see you next time.